Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome, blah, blah, blah. What a way to start the day. Welcome to another episode of Community Connection. And my co-host, the lovely Claudia Fletcher, is not with us today. She's recovering from surgery. So if you're watching, Claudia, we love you, praying for you. And let me just say this as your boss. If you're watching this right now, you shouldn't be. You should be resting. And I certainly don't want to hear that you were working today. Okay? So, and she's probably making faces and deciding right now that she's going to do whatever the heck she wants to do. Mm-hmm. Don't do it. So, but in her place, we have Nicolette Antoniuk, who has sat in that chair a number of times as a co-host. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Now, folks are going to wonder if we emailed or texted each other about what are we wearing this morning. You would wear black. I wore black. We didn't.
No. Had to get a little pop of color over here, but it's all because I told you I'd wear a different hat.
There you go. And she does. She always wears a different hat. So you brought some of your friends, some of your colleagues, some of your team members. Why don't you introduce who's with us today?
Yeah, what a joy. So I have with us this morning Ashlyn Gipe. She is a family advocate with our team. And Mrs. Janice Clemens. She is our Director of Family Empowerment. Welcome, ladies.
Good morning.
Real quick, tell us, for the uninitiated, what does that mean? What does that job title involve, Ashlyn?
Yes. So I am a family advocate, and I work with a family advocacy team. And so what that looks like is engaging with clients. Right now I have a lot of kinship caregivers, but that will be, expanding. But what that looks like is engaging with them, asking them what their needs look like, building relationships with them, and connecting them to resources, really just hearing what the needs are and encouraging them to, we work alongside them, I guess, in meeting those needs.
Can I just take some credit that
Absolutely.
I was her field supervisor
Yes.
instructor for her internship, right?
Yes,
so
you were.
this amazing team member that you have, I think I get a little bit of credit for that.
Well, you do. And I was her agency task supervisor, so we
There
made
you
a good
go.
team.
Yeah.
You did. That's funny.
Credit. We're enjoying
we
your
do
success.
love having you on the team.
Thank you.
Ashlyn.
I'm glad to be here.
And you've been around a long time,
few
even
years.
longer than me, Janice.
That's true. I'm not older than you.
No.
Just for the
For
record.
clarity.
Okay, that's just, okay.
Almost 17 years. In
Yeah.
June. Yeah.
So tell us real quick about your role.
Yeah. So I'm the Director of Family Empowerment. So what on earth does that mean, you might wonder. So this is a new position. I've been the Director of Homes of Hope, but all families need, and all parents need information, education about how to parent. Kids don't come with an instruction book.
don't.
So the goal of the Family Empowerment team is to really equip parents with parenting skills, the basics that we don't automatically know to see the needs of children of all ages, and to be able to look within to see our own needs and what is being brought up as we parent. So we really want to educate parents, and then we want to really offer them some practical hands-on support. So become educated in one of our classes or groups about parenting skills and reflective parenting, and then we offer some parent coaching. So that can be one-on-one or in group settings, but we'll come to you, to the home, to the community, and help you apply these things, apply the skills and the learning that you've gained. So we just want parents to be equipped, and then we hope that will spread.
Absolutely. So you're here today because of some exciting new developments happening on the care team. So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way, Janice, you sort of queued that up for me, so thank you. Homes of Hope was a wonderful opportunity we've had for years to work with moms to grow those skills, to give them information and equip them, and then to journey with them. And last year, we had a tremendously wonderful opportunity to step into the community setting and start to pilot what does it look like for moms, for single parents who could use this same equipping and don't need a residential setting because they have a home and they have security in that. And as we piloted that, we found the community was rich and ripe with opportunity for people saying, yes, we would love the opportunity to receive this information. And the idea of having someone who could come into their home and meet them where they were was an even greater response of please make that available. And so as we explored the success of that pilot, we also recognized that the family advocacy that is offered through Kinship Navigator, which has been so successful,
Right.
really could benefit all the families in the community.
Absolutely.
And so we came to a decision as a team to say, we're going to step away from residential care. We're going to say goodbye to the home itself. And we're going to take all of what was best about it and offer it to the community as a whole. So that's the journey we're on. And we're very excited. Just around the corner, once we get into May, we're going to formally launch family care as the sole programming of our team.
So you're going to be able to have a larger impact, right? Because you're going to be able to serve more.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, using same resources, but now spreading it out to more moms, right?
Absolutely. I was going to say, not that numbers matter to everyone, but I was doing a grant application recently, so I had to look into that. And right now, in a given year, I think we're serving somewhere close to 75 families. And I'm sorry, that's not accurate. And then 3/4, 75 families, so about 100 families a year. And with this move, we should be able to serve at least 130, if not 150 in a
Really?
year. And I'm really excited for all of those extra families,
Yeah.
the type of support and connection they're going to grow.
So you said the pilot was in Bedford County. Mm-hmm. So will this just stay in Bedford County, or are you trying to explain?
Expand it. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started in Bedford County. It was the natural place where connections were already ripe and grown around the home. But we actually serve Lynchburg and the 4 surrounding counties. So our Vision 30 area is also Family Care's service area. And so we do have a lot of families already through Lynchburg, Bedford, and Campbell counties that have been served through different service offerings. And we have a handful in Nelson, Appomattox, and Amherst. So we're looking forward to continuing to grow that opportunity.
Wonderful. I think is now a good time to look at your slides to try to
Absolutely.
explain what that looks like.
Sure thing.
Give us a visual to, okay.
Yeah, so Liam, if you'll give us slide 1. So on the family care team, we worked to develop our mission statement to say, why do we do what we do? And this is what we've developed. We exist to strengthen families so that children in our local community are safe. In partnership with community allies, we support and equip parents, caregivers, and volunteers in the pursuit of positive, impactful family transformation. Ashlyn, I'd love to invite you into a little bit of discussion over this, because you were there with the team as we developed this, and something that was hugely highlighted from Kinship was we have to talk about the community connections because we can't do what we do without them. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So a big part of being a family advocate is looking at ways that the community can also be helping to support the caregivers or the parents, whoever we're serving at that time. So yes, we absolutely, a lot of needs that we see include like food resources or clothing resources, financial assistance, those types of things. And those aren't needs that we're necessarily able to meet here, but partnering with other organizations and referring them to those organizations has been incredible. And we've heard a lot of like checking back in with, following up with the caregivers after those referrals are made. They're having great experiences and are grateful to have those organizations in the community.
What I like about this is that it's not all about us, right? We recognize it takes a community. There's got to be a circle of support. We can't do
Yeah.
everything, nor should we even try, because families need lots of different connections and meaningful connections.
Yeah.
And you guys are really just kind of connecting, right? You're
Yeah.
You're being the conduit where these relationships can get started and needs been met. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, so that's the first half of our family advocacy, those connections and relationship buildings. I'm actually going to volley it to Janice to talk about the second half of that. There's that positive, impactful family transformation that we're looking for. And that ties back to the teaching family model.
Yeah.
That's the model that we're accredited with. And the way we see the opportunities to achieve that transformation with families is really to partner with them on a journey of learning. So can you share with us a little bit about what that can look like for a family?
Absolutely. There are several ways that you can access our services. Anybody, for instance, can go to our Patrick Henry website, look at events, and we have quite a few trainings, very kindly priced generously. And so, for instance, somebody can sign up today for trust-based relational intervention. I'm leading a 2-day workshop that's a deeper dive in May. And so they can access it that way. Anybody can. And so that's anyone caring for kids from hard places, especially, for instance, a child in foster care or adoptive. So it's really to equip the caregiver. But anyone, any parent, and that's what I love about the changes we're making. I love serving single moms. And we love serving kinship families and foster families and adoptive families and dads and couples. And, so we're taking the silos off. So we now get to offer these services, anyone caring for a child, period.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so, so someone can call us and say, I just need some help, or what can you offer me? They get connected to a family advocate, and the family advocate talks with them, kind of assesses what their needs are, and says, you know what, this parent says that they could really use some additional support and just kind of understanding, struggling with parenting. And so they can sign up for a Circle of Security parenting class. It's an 8-week class. We offer it in the office, but we also offer it with partners in the community. So there are different places. We've got one coming up at Blue Ridge Pregnancy Center in April. So they can sign up for an 8-week parenting class, and we have other parenting classes coming, TBRI parenting, different things of that nature. So we come alongside them in a small group setting where they can be vulnerable and reflective and take some meaningful time to connect with other parents, imperfect parents, and we're going to learn together and reflect on our own parenting and what our kids need together. And then if they would like more, then we will step into the community with them. If they like one-on-one coaching, us to come into their home for 6 weeks, if they would like.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask Liam to cue up the second slide in just a second there. I want to tell a story about why this matters so much. I had some feedback from a family in the community who just went through their assessment, and the young lady's pregnant. She's a brand new mama, 19 years old, and there's a lot of fear in that. There's a lot of unknown, and she has been accessing services in the community and then made her way to ours. And after she completed the assessment, she shared with a family member that that's the first person I talked with on the phone who treated me like a person, who saw me and gave me this opportunity to be in relationship with them like they actually care what's going to happen to me. And my heart just blossomed in that, such pride for the team, because that's what we desire, is that people come alongside and just let us journey with them. They're not a number. We don't assign case file numbers. Everybody is their name. But more than that, we treat them as the people they are, with dignity, meeting them where they are. And then from there, we help them build their plan. So I'd love to talk a little bit about that if you want to cue up that slide, Liam. So getting rid of all program names, we want people to know about the services families can expect with us. So as Janice explained, when they first get connected, there's that family advocacy. Everyone will receive a family advocate, and that's their person. That's the one that when they're not sure what they even need to ask, they'll call Ashlyn or Cameron. They will call and talk with their advocate, who will say, oh, I hear this related to this. I think that's a goal you're trying to achieve. What's it going to take to get there? And they'll help them outline the steps of their goal and whatever connections need to be made there.
I love the word advocate as opposed to case manager or a social worker. Right? You are advocating, right? I love it.
Absolutely. And then our advocate has the opportunity not just to look external, but to know that internally our families can be served well through a higher level of services here. We have the counseling team at Hope for Tomorrow Counseling. During the summer, we refer to Hat Creek Camp for that wonderful trauma-informed experience. And then our Connect team that has done such a good job of infiltrating the community with Care Portal and with other connections has really equipped our team to
Wow.
be well connected.
Wow.
And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention that not just the family coaching and the training, but we're still doing short-term placements. That's not going away. But what we're really excited about is our short-term placements are not just for families who are in a complex struggle or a crisis. It's also for families who just need respite.
Oh,
So our kinship caregivers, our foster families,
yes.
anyone who needs to have that opportunity for some
A safe
self-care
place
or a
to put the children.
Yes,
Yeah, I got it.
absolutely. And then anyone who connects with our team qualifies for educational support if they're pursuing any kind of education past high school. So we're very excited about all the opportunities for mentoring and beyond that families can now access and have a really coordinated approach to who they are as a family and what their needs are.
Well, this is beautiful. And this is about the time we normally take a break. And you mentioned camp,
Yes.
right? You like to refer, and it is camp season, right?
It
We're
is.
trying to get campers and scholarships to send kids to camp. So, Liam, let's take a little break and show our camp video.
I've actually known about Hat Creek Camp since I was about 12, and so then when I was like getting into like wanting to work with foster kids and going to like social services and stuff like that, I was like that would be a great opportunity.
This is my third summer at camp. I'm here for the counselors so that they can best serve the kids. Whatever the counselors need, however they need support, whenever they need direction or planning and that kind of structure.
So at camp, you have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and there's like almost no in between. You are forced to grow, and it really just matters where you grow or like how you grow, but you will grow as a person. Laying my vulnerabilities down at the foot of the cross has been a huge lesson I've learned. And again, the kids help you learn that because the kids come up and they have no filter and they'll immediately just pull at anything that you could be vulnerable about yourself.
These kids have enough going on at home, a lot of them. And I want them to just be a kid. I want them to just be able to exist and be and get better and heal. If I can play a small part in that by giving them a cup of water or making them smile or just showing them like you matter, you're not just a number, you're not just a person in a place. That's what I love about camp is you get to do that every day.
So honestly, I've learned to just have fun, to dance at a dance party, to sing louder than I've ever sang in my life, to just smile and have fun, because that's what the kids need. It's summer camp. They don't need, you to sing on the right key or to say the word full right. They need you to just love them and just to have fun.
The people that are either here year round or the people that are seasonal and they come in just for the summer, you know that God's here. He's present, he's working. It feels like a home. We're a smaller camp. We don't have as many kids or as many cabins or the biggest property, but we've got the Lord and we really love these kids. And that's what we build everything else on.
What I really like about what you've been talking about, Nicolette, is how kind of holistic it is, right? It's not singling out a particular thing and just focusing on that, but recognizing families have lots of different needs, right? And we don't have to be the one who meets it, but that's, right, what an advocate's going to do is help them in that journey. But I also like that it relies really on natural helping networks first, right?
Yes.
Volunteer-driven, but professionally supported. And that makes it more natural for people, right?
Without a doubt. I think the goal of our team is to work ourselves out of a job.
Yes, it should be the goal of every person in this kind of field, right? But we don't. We tend to...
Yeah, it is unique in the
Yeah.
helping field. We say that, and I've heard it for
Yep.
many years. But some of my favorite things to look at are healthy discharges. Being able to work with the family as long as they say they need us or they desire us to be there, and then getting to hear their why when they're ready to say goodbye. It's because of the social connectedness that they feel, the strength they have in those circles of support. And there's so many beautiful concepts that pair with that. I wonder if either of you have an example of a family that has discharged well, of course not by name, that you could share what it was like watching that process. Put them on the spot.
I have one.
Okay.
I had a grandmother who had care. She has 2 grandchildren in her care, and she discharged because both of her grandchildren were at a place where, whenever she first got connected to us, I guess, she was looking for counseling services. She was looking how she could better support her grandchildren that have gone through trauma, and so through being connected to us, she was able to get connected to counseling for them, and encouraged her to get them connected with school programs so that they were meeting, building their connections, building out their friendships while at school. But then this caregiver also got very plugged into her church and felt great support from there. And so it was just a normal check-in, and, we talked about all the things that were going really well for them. And she said, you know what, I feel like I am doing really well. And I like knowing that, in the future, if something were to go, not so great and she would like that connection again, she can definitely reach back out and get reconnected. But for right now, she wanted to, discharge. And it was a really good discharge because knowing she had support from her church, the girls that are with her are feeling well equipped, and they have a lot of resources, and they have the support of their grandmother, who's also doing really well. So that was a really good discharge. That I was glad to know that where they were at was the
Yes.
reason for their discharge.
I love hearing that the church is involved in that, right? Because we really believe that's another circle
Yeah.
sort, right? It's kind of another layer of family, really, if you can get really plugged into a good, healthy church. And we really believe that we've got to empower the saints to do the work of the ministry, right?
Without a
It's
doubt.
got to hand it off. And I'd love that we handed that off to a more natural community.
I think that's a really cool segue, if you don't care,
Sure.
to talk about how people can get
Yeah,
involved and
absolutely.
connected. Because so many times I think people hear about family services and it cues for them an idea, and then maybe it stirs within their heart a little bit of excitement. But then they lean back and go, but that's a professional need, and I'm not a professional. And we are volunteer driven and professional in our support. And so it's the volunteer aspect that makes everything work beautifully. And in that space, I think helping people know how they can plug in can be
Yeah.
such a powerful motivator. I wonder if you guys could share some ways you see people could get connected with our team to help connect with these families and help them grow.
Absolutely. Shall I take that?
Sure.
So there are quite a few ways, and I can't stress enough meaningful connection. And so your first qualification is that you care.
Yes.
Simply that. And because I think
It's a good place to start.
I think that sometimes we think, oh man, I'd really like to step in, but I'm not sure I can, or I don't know that I have enough. Having a trusting person, a person that can be trusted to be there, is priceless. It's better than any service you can have. And so if you meet that qualification, give us a call, first of all. And so, but there are some very practical ways. We have a monthly support group for kinship families, and we're looking to start those for single moms or dads and different folks. But they have children, and we simply being there once a month to help keep the kids occupied and entertained and cared for well is a wonderful resource, a wonderful way to step in. Or it could be helping us, we feed the families when they come, just helping us set up or take down and put the room back together. It could be that so we also do some mentoring of kids like 14 to 21. And if you just have time that you'd be willing to step out and just be there for a teenager or a
Just
young
pour
adult,
into 'em.
just
Yeah.
pour into them. So it could be giving a ride. It could be that you would like to offer your space in the community. Maybe it's a church, maybe it's a community center, to say, hey, I'd like to host a parenting. I have a space that I'd just like to host a support group or host a parenting class. And as a matter of fact, I know a few moms, a few dads, a few kinship caregivers. Would you like to come have it here? Let us know. Yes. Maybe you'd like to provide a meal. And so there are so many practical ways just to get involved.
There really are. And what's really interesting to me is when we have people who have been served through our services who then turn around to volunteer in them.
Perfect.
One that comes to mind is we have a mentor-mentee relationship that's been going on, I guess, for about a year now. It's been quite a while. And the last 2 kinship support groups, they've shown up to cook the meal. And it's just part of their mentor relationship to say, let's give back. And if we're going to give back, let's give back to the place that connected us.
You say it starts with care, and it does. But care kind of is made a little easier by grace, right?
Yes.
Right? If a person is kind of judgmental or, kind of, well, they got themselves into that kind of, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a good place to start.
Probably not. We don't do the bootstrap mentality
We
real
don't.
well.
No, right? And we're all here because of grace. I mean, even the fact that we're serving and loving these families is because we've been shown grace and the love of God, right? And, we've all been in a place where we didn't deserve any of that, but it was, poured on us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're going into the Easter weekend that reminds us of the great sacrifice that Jesus gave for us, right? It was, and He knows all our filthiness and our attitudes and what we didn't get what we deserve by grace, right? And so, to me, that's where it's got to start. Care flows from the love and grace that we've been shown. Right?
Without a doubt. I think about a family that we started serving about 3 years ago, and they're not a traditional family. They're part of the LGBTQ community, and they had been, like many, they had experienced shame within the church and many doors closed to them. And when they connected with us, a few months after we had built connection, one of them shared with me, she said, I've never felt okay around a Christian, ever. She said, because I know that my lifestyle doesn't match with your values. She said, but you've never made that an issue and no one on your team has. She said, so I feel safe. And if a person can feel safe in our environments, in any part of the services that we offer, we have achieved something so powerful because it's in those safe places that people can heal, that they can have self-examination that may be hard, that they can just learn or simply just be. Because there's something powerful in a safe place where you can rest, too.
It's the whosoever, right? That God so loved the world, that whosoever. We kind of say it a little different, every child. Every, right? There really doesn't need to be an adjective in front of the word child other than every.
Every.
That's
the only qualifier.
That's the only qualifier, right? They're just children, period. And that's why we do what we do, right?
And
So.
I think that's such a cool reflection of where we're at as a team because we want it to be every family with a connection to a child. If they have primary caregiving responsibilities of any kind, a primary relationship with a child, we want to connect with them so we can help bridge those connections in the community and then eventually step back out and let the community thrive and love really well on one another.
As we wrap this up, any words of wisdom from you?
Oh, that's a
How do you sum this up? And then we're going to let Janice give the ask at the end, how they can get involved.
I think I'd sum it up by saying this. Every family has an opportunity to grow, and whether they realize that they're going to grow in one direction or another, there's no stagnancy. So I would encourage all the families to pour into your positive growth, and if that means connecting with us, we would sure love to do that. And if it means connecting as a volunteer, we would love that too. Janice?
So how do they get connected, Janice?
They simply call us 376-2006 extension. What is that?
Ask for the care team.
And ask for family care to get involved. So we want to partner with people who are willing to love and be safe for others. And so if you want to offer childcare, if you want to give a ride, if you want to be social collateral. So to say, okay,
Yes.
so this person can't find a job, and they can't find a job because they don't have transportation. They can't get transportation if you don't have a job. I'm willing to sit around the table and just use my connections and form community. So if you're interested in stepping in and being a trustworthy person, then give us a call. We do short-term placements. We need host families. What that means, it is a short-term placement. So the parent has full every right. It's a voluntary placement. But sometimes a parent has a hardship and doesn't have a community of support. And so if you have an extra bedroom, or if you have the ability just to bring a child in very temporarily, we would love to talk to you. And I'm going to have a shameless plug right now.
Sure.
We have one mom and a little one left at Homes of Hope. And they have many obstacles and a heart that's been hurt a lot. And so trusting is not easy, and finances are a big obstacle. So maybe it's a basement apartment that can be made into a home temporarily while we come along and support. What do you have that you think, well, maybe that's not good enough?
That's good enough.
It probably is. So if you're just willing to step into a relationship or offer a service, we're here to say yes.
So that's a good way to sum it up. If you're willing, if you care, right? Contact them. They'll plug you in at the best place, right?
Yes.
Appreciate having you guys here. It's been described that when you go visit this team in the winter stuff, it's like walking into a hug.
We'll take it. We'll receive that.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on Community Connection.
Nobody gets to choose their family. If a person is fortunate enough to be born into a healthy family, then life can be much like floating down a smooth, gentle river in the summertime. But an unhealthy family is like a dangerous river, filled with rocks, debris, and fast-moving water. This river swiftly leads to the steep waterfall of adulthood, tragically forming a new river of dysfunction. Even if you aren't born into an unhealthy river, there are many streams that cause a person to get there. But there is only one way to get out, and that is through a meaningful relationship. Across our region, there are many agencies, churches, and families who are devoted to helping children escape from unhealthy rivers. Some feel their role is to wade in and rescue children. They foster, adopt, or provide safe families. Others stand by the river and support the rescuers by providing what they need. Still, others are upstream and stand in the gap to keep children from ending up in the negative situations. At Patrick Henry Family Services, we see ourselves as having an additional role. We are running up and down the shores of the unhealthy river, screaming, "Can't you see the children in the water? You have to do something." Vision 30 is a 10-year initiative. By 2030, we envision a region where all children are safe in their own family, or with caregivers who are supported by a local faith community. So, where do you stand at the river? Are you upstream, keeping families together and strong by standing in the gap? Are you in the river, directly impacting children? Are you on the shore, providing support for the brave folks who have entered the river? Or are you just passing by without noticing? No matter who you are, come down to the river with us. Let us help you find your place. Not only will lives be changed, but you will never be the same.